So wherever you are, you can, from an academic standpoint, y'all know I'm a high school dropout. Took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree. So you're not looking at a dude, and y'all know me, but I just want to make sure y'all understand. There was a time where I was homeless. I ain't had no money. So when you listen to the podcast, like, don't just get caught up in what I'm saying. Understand where I started from. I started from the bottom for real. So wherever you are, if you're looking at a dude in every area of his life that started from the bottom, that wasn't sweet in no area of his life, but not killing the game, you don't have no excuse. You don't have no excuse. There's not one place, there's not one area in my life that I started and I was sweet at. Not one. But there's not one area in my life that I didn't progress in and continue to progress in. No, write that down. Now, that's your biggest problem to success is you not growing. Like a lot of you haven't grown because you haven't grown. Like, you're the same version of yourself 10 years ago. You're the same version of yourself 20 years ago. Like, you haven't changed as an adult. You still on the same stuff. I'm not on the same stuff no more. I've grown. And I'm not telling you I'm grown. My wife will tell you. My kids will tell you. My mother will tell you. Society will tell you from the first video they saw on TGIM to now is different. So the first thing I need you guys to understand is to become a 1%er, you got to become a 1%er. No, people, E.T., I want to be just like you. Oh, you don't want this grind that I got. You don't want this life. You don't want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to drive an hour and a half to Detroit, fly to Nashville, speak at TSU, drive 2 hours to Huntsville, Alabama A&M, drive to Birmingham, come home, and you got an 8 to 10 hour session with another group. Like, you don't want this life. I'm sorry, you want this life. You don't want this grind. You want this life. You don't want this work. So listen to me very closely. I have what I have because I'm willing to do what others aren't willing to do. Like the average dude, if his wife would have called C, would have been like, yo, why you call my boy? Why you tripping? I wasn't like, why you tripping? I called C and said, what'd she say? Like, for real. And I'm pissed because I'm like, yo, I'm so goofy that you got to call C, you can't even talk to me about it. Like, I got this one area, I'm going to be real, C will tell you, it ain't like I got 20 areas. But I had this one area that I couldn't get over, and I've been working hard. I couldn't get over this one area because I hadn't gotten over this one area. I couldn't get over this one area with my wife because I hadn't even got over it with my mama. So how you gonna get over it with your wife when you ain't never got, it was you and your mama, it was your mother and your relationship that started this mess. You got to go back and deal with your mom, but I'm like, God, I don't know what you on, but if you need to talk to my mom, you go talk to her. I ain't talking to her. I'm just being real. God was like, go holler at your mom. I'm like, I ain't holler at you, holler at her. If you think she need to know that, you tell her. You God. Why you sending me to do it? You're supposed to be omnipotent, omniscient. Like, for real, you're supposed to be all that in a bag of chips. You're supposed to be powerful. So why don't you go talk to my mom? Why are you asking me as a sinner to go talk to my mom? He said, because I can talk to your mom and fix your mom, but then you still wouldn't be fixed. So I don't need you to go talk to your mom to go talk to your mom. I need you to go talk to your mom so you can get healing. Oh, y'all, okay, all right, let me take my time. We're gonna get to this first slide. You cannot be a 1%er if you're not a 1%er. So I'm gonna tell y'all what my pain point was. So this is where it all happened for me. So I want you to, as I'm talking, when it comes, write it down. Like, don't try to avoid it today. Don't try to avoid it. Like, cause you came here for entertainment. Don't try, it's not entertainment. Do not avoid it. When they come to your mind, just write it down. I'm not asking you to fix it, but write it down. So it always happened with the pain points. I love God. It always happened with the pain points. So the first pain point, I was working at Michigan State University, and my little girl was killing the game. Now, I didn't even know that I needed to take off work because my son never killed a game academically. So I never even knew I needed to be off work during the day. You know what I'm saying? My man wasn't winning no awards academically. So, you know what I'm saying? I just going to work normal. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my man wasn't never like at 10 o'clock in the morning getting on stage and like had a certificate for the best academic kid, and it wasn't happening. So I didn't even know that she's supposed to be going to the schools in the daytime. I had no conflict at the job until my daughter was born, and my daughter was like on that. Like, she wanted to get all A's. So my daughter would call like, Dad. Now remember, my biological father ain't in my life, so that's impacting how I father. So I'm a little overboard. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad wasn't there, now I'm trying to overcompensate. So my little girl called like, yo, Dad, I got the Patriot Award. I'm like, bet. All right, I'm there. 10 o'clock, I'm there. And my boss, like, yo, I'm about to go see my daughter, she whatever. And she like, well, you can't go because you at work. I'm like, well, first of all, let's keep it 100 between me and you. I'm an academic advisor. Ain't no kids coming to be advised at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's just keep it 100. Like, I respect the fact that I got a job, and I'm supposed to, but let me leave at 10 and work till 8. Because if they're going to get advising, they probably going to come after 2. Like, they ain't about to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and come and get no advising. She's like, you can't do it. I was like, what? She's like, you can't go. Pain point number 1. Write pain point down somewhere so when yours get hit, you can just go ahead. If you got your phone, put it in your phone. Right? So she like, you can't go. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm going. So whatever consequences I got to deal with, I got to deal with those consequences. But I'm not going to go see my daughter. Because my daughter was the one that when I would go, like my wife is we're going to talk about later, a high D. My wife is at work. She ain't taking off work for nothing. My wife like, bring the certificate home. Finish. I'll see you at 5:30. We'll go out to eat, but ain't nobody about to take off work for a certificate, right? But you know me, Dad, I'm up there, you know what I'm saying? I'm at everyone, and my daughter get up there, and you can tell when they call her name, she look to see if I'm there. I'm like, I'm here. So I get back, my boss like, I'm like, boo, I don't know how I can explain this to you, but I'm not about to pick the job when ain't nobody coming to the office at 10 and be sitting here wondering what it'd be like to be with my daughters. Right? So pain point. I remember going to, I was ready to quit, but I got a lot of respect and honor. Like I grew up watching Kung Fu movies. No, you laughing. Some of y'all need to start watching Kung Fu movies. You don't got no integrity, no honor, no jack. Like for real. I was Chinese movies, right? My man come home, his brother dead. He like, I will avenge thee, my brother Chang Wang Li. You know what I'm saying? My man ain't done no karate his whole life. But they didn't kill his brother. Not in the movie. He just. And my man gets strong. He fight a couple people, and then he finally see homeboy that killed his brother. You killed my brother, Chang Wang Li. Right? Mad honor. My man changed his whole swag, his whole life to handle it. So the person that hired me was the VP. So I went to the VP like, yo, bro, I'm out. He was like, where you going? I'm like, bro, she tripped, like, keep me like I'm a kid. Like, I can't do it. I got a daughter. I can't be missing stuff. Like, this is crazy. She don't like the program I'm doing. It's killing the game. I can't do this. He was like, do me a favor. Give it a year. And I'm like, flat out. I'm like in prison, 365. Every day I mark it off. You know what I'm saying? I'm marking that joint off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they move our offices. We get an office down the street. You know, we get all kind of privileges, but she's still like, I could tell she's been through some stuff. She can get over it. And she's taking it out on me. So first pain point was like, yo, see, we got to take the We got to go. We got 365 days between you and me. Unless something change, we're about this joint. But when we leave, we're gonna have to have our papers straight. Like, whatever we doing, we're going to have to be ready. First pain point. That makes sense? That's the first pain point, right? Write that down. First pain. What's your pain points? So I knew, like, yo, E, if you're going to leave this job and you're going to go out here and do what y'all doing, you're going to have to take it to a whole nother level. Now, I never knew I would be a 1%er, but I knew I had to take it to another level. I want you to write down what percentage you're giving right now. I want you to write that down. Like, are you giving 70%, 80%, 90%? Right? And then the second pain point was, my wife was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, since we've been 18, 19, like, I see you, like, it's a lot of stuff that you was dealing with. Now, let me just be real with y'all. Like, I have to explain to people, like, you might look up to me, but I don't look up to me. Like, you might, human. Like, yo, my father had 5 kids by 5 different women. My uncles, my grandfather, like, ain't nobody make no commitment like that. Wasn't nobody really, like, there for their kids. As much as I preach and speak, I'm still my father's child. I'm still him. Like, I'm still fighting every single day not to go back to who I was when I was 16, 17, 18. Like, and don't think because I speak, like, don't think because I'm number 1 in the world, like, I ain't still human. And I ain't still got demons I'm wrestling with and stuff I'm trying to. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? But somebody got to fight these demons. And I can't leave it up to the pastor. Somebody got to fight these demons, and I can't leave it up to my wife. Like some of you are for real. Like you so weak. You got your wife fighting stuff for you that you be fighting yourself. You're weak. You got your counselor talking to you for 5-6 hours. Doggone it, stop paying and go look in the mirror and deal with him. You paying somebody to sit there for 5 hours to talk when you can just go in the mirror and look at yourself and pay yourself. Don't pay yourself and go stare in the mirror and talk to yourself and go back and forth and say, Negro, if you don't become your best person, I promise you, I'll deal with you. For real, you making excuses. You got a counselor, and I'm not mad at the counselor, but you've been in counseling for 2 years and ain't nothing changed. Stop getting the that's not working. Some of y'all praying. Praying is a cop-out. You've been praying for 6 years and you the same husband. It ain't no way you talking to the Creator and he didn't bless you when you still the same. It's not possible. So if you praying, it's just like a formality. It ain't no way you talking to the Creator that has all power and you the exact same. That's not possible. So my wife like, yo, this arguing thing is killing me. And this is why it was bad. Because we'd go 6 months, right? 6 months straight, nothing. And then we'd argue. And it would seem like I gained 80 yards and then I fumbled on the 2-yard line. You might be like, he killing the game. But I was like 6 months good, 8 months good, fumble.